Thanks for checking out this movie review video. So this is for the 2022 film The Cellar. It's a Shudder original and it's coming to Shudder on Thursday, April 14th. So this is a spoiler-free review. I will talk slightly about a thematic thing, some subtext in there, but it really does not ruin anything in my opinion. But anyway, written and directed by Brendan Muldowney, who also did the films Savage, Love Eternal, and Pilgrimage, which I've not seen any of them. It stars Elisha Cuthbert. If people don't know the name Elisha Cuthbert, she was in Old School, she was in Love Actually, which I'm going to say right now, I enjoy the film Love Actually. I know a lot of people are kind of like, oh, Love Actually, it's not that good. It's good for what it is. Not horror, but it's good for what it is. She was also in The Girl Next Door, House of Wax, which I do keep meaning to see that. It was like the 90s version, House of Wax. I keep meaning to watch that because I know there were some people in the horror community who do really like that one. And she was also in Captivity, which I saw and did not like. I believe I have a review for it on my channel, actually. So once again, The Cellar is coming to Shudder on Thursday, April 14th. Synopsis, I don't want to give you too much because I don't want to give too much away, but it's a pretty old premise. A family moves into a creepy old house. This takes place somewhere in the UK, and some things start to seem awry. Things are creepy. That's as much as I'm going to say, because I don't want to go too far. Now, I will say that there are some unique things about the story here that I really do appreciate, and I think that's the biggest thing, is there was a lot of care taken in the story to have an interesting mystery that's kind of unraveled bit by bit. That said, I do feel like the pacing of it is not the greatest, and, well, I'll talk a little bit more about the other thing in a minute. Let me go through my notes. Character relationships are established pretty well, like immediately, basically. So you understand within the family, and it mainly is just dealing within this family. You understand within that family what the dynamics are with everyone, with the two parents and the two children. So that's important, and the fact that it's established so early is quite good. The ominous music and slow camera work focusing on certain things creates a creepy atmosphere very early. I do like that they also went and created this creepy atmosphere like immediately, basically, so you're not really waiting for the intrigue too long, and then they maintain it. They do a pretty good job maintaining it, except when the pacing starts to suffer a bit, and then you start to not really be feeling the creepy atmosphere as much because you start to get a slight bit bored. Maybe that's just me, though. They don't waste much time actually getting to the intrigue, which I like. That's another thing I really like, where they're not making you wait too long before they're getting into things. And I think that they didn't need to make people wait too long before getting the actual intrigue and starting to give you pieces of the mystery because of how they established the relationships of the characters and the character attitudes like immediately in the film. So I like that it starts pretty quick, but the problem becomes like in the middle of the film, there seems to be some fluff. Probably too much fluff in my opinion. And the runtime, I think, with the credits was like 1 hour and 34 minutes, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. And yeah, it definitely could have been cut down, should have been cut down in my opinion, although I do think there may be people who don't think so because they like the atmosphere, they like the kind of slow pacing of that stuff. So, you know, I'm always looking for differing opinions on these films, so you can go ahead and put it down in the comments. The music does go a little bit over the top from time to time. The score is good. I like the music for the most part. I like the fact that they use it early on to establish that creepy atmosphere, but one of the big things that bothers me in film is when it feels like they're beating you over the head with the score, especially in those moments where it's supposed to be, you know, dread-filled or intense or scary or anything like that. And they're just, it's like they're screaming at you. And it's like, I understand I am watching the film. I don't need this auditory assault in order to understand what I'm supposed to be feeling right here. That's something that a lot of filmmakers have gotten away from over time. It was kind of like an old relic from much older films where it was just accepted that like you went hard on the scores. You went big and you went loud, especially in like the scary and dread-filled moments. So for it to not be going with the trend that we're going on, which is a great trend of being more restrained with the score, that kind of bothered me a bit. It kind of, you know, it's a pet peeve of mine, and I know it's not going to bother everyone, so just throwing it out there. It is a bit slow, but the atmosphere is maintained well. But like I said, you start to not feel the creepiness as much because you get a little bit bored from time to time, unfortunately. There are a few solid reveals. And this goes back to what I was saying about the script and kind of like because there is research actually put into this, honestly, because there's some, you'll see what I mean if you watch the film. Like there's a unique aspect to the story. It's not your typical creepy house and family moves into it and weird things happen. It's not typical in that sense. So I definitely give it points for that. But yeah, good reveals. I think the pacing of kind of revealing things is decent. It would feel a lot better if the film was edited down a little bit more. They really could have just kept it going like boom, 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 and they really did not. About 45 minutes into the film is when it takes a little bit of a step up, and something happens at that point. About 45 minutes in, and you're just like, okay, are we going to the next level here? Kind of, but then again, the pacing kind of kills it a little bit. And the other thing is, things happen in the house. I've already said that. They start to feel very similar, the things that are happening in the house, so you don't feel like you're making a whole lot of a progression as far as like danger goes, as far as interest level goes with things. If you're going to have things happening in the house, it's kind of like you have to be like next level, next level, next level, next level. Or, you know, a few things on this level, then a few things on the next level, then a few things on the next level. It kind of feels like everything's kind of on the same level, which makes it feel a bit boring until the end of the film. So I think they just needed to be better at kind of ratcheting things up slowly or medium paced. I don't know, but they just needed to work on ratcheting things up better. Yeah, my next note, the scares start to feel repetitive. They really, really do. They're not exactly the same, but they're pretty similar. It's like, can we get more danger? Can we get more dread here? They do a good job keeping you guessing about where the story is ultimately going. And I didn't see where it was going. I mean, I had some inklings because of what they throw out there, but I think it's smart, and I like the fact that I didn't exactly know where they were going to go, because like I said, you know, this is an old setup, a very old setup that's been used so many times of family moves into a creepy house. So when you start to watch it, you kind of feel like, oh, I feel like I might know how this goes, and you don't. So that's a big positive for this film, in my opinion. Once again, going back to the script, although it could have been tightened up. There are some unique aspects to how they thought out what's going on in this. I'm trying to be kind of vague. I don't want to reveal too much. Yeah, I don't want to reveal too much about it. But yeah, you could tell there was a lot of care taken in this. A lot of care. But once again, the editing needed to shine more. The ending is a little bit eh. It's not as great as I wanted it to be. The concept of the ending is good. The way they pulled it off, I think, could have been a lot better done. But I will also say that the final shot in the film, and it's like a panning backward shot, that's all I'm going to say about that, looked awesome. Like, that shot was kind of like, okay, I don't want to ruin it too much, so I'm being very, very careful here. It's a cool looking shot, and it makes you feel a certain way, and I really enjoyed that. So it was a great way to end things, in my opinion, even though the end of the actual story portion wasn't the greatest. It was okay. All the technical aspects, for the most part, are well done. You know, directing, cinematography, acting. And I would say that I think Alicia Cuthbert did a real nice job in her role in this, and I would like to see her in more horror stuff, to be honest. I think she did a nice job, and I'm down for more. I'm down for more Alicia Cuthbert. I don't know if this kind of happens, like celebrities, actors, as they get older, they tend to go to the horror genre for some reason. I think the horror genre is just more accepting and more open of people who may not have worked a whole lot in the past however many years. But I love that. Like, we're a welcoming community. I mean, look what's happened with Nick Cage for the most part. Like, he's been loving it. We've been loving it. Let's bring in Alicia Cuthbert. I'm down. Nice job on the lighting, by the way. This is something that I bring up from time to time. It really bothers me when films don't light properly in dark moments, and there are plenty of dark moments in this film, but you never struggle to see what's going on. So, nice. Good job. That goes to the whole technical aspect of things being done quite well. This film deals heavily with parental fears and the struggle to know your child and maintain a good relationship with your child. Now, I don't have children or anything, so I can see where this film may hit harder for people who maybe do have children or want children. But for me, you know, I see where it can impact people. I just don't feel it as much. So maybe that's part of the reason I'm not huge on this. Although that doesn't mean anything. What I just said does not mean anything necessarily about the events of the film. I just want to say that because I don't want people to start guessing. Just watch the film if you're interested. I think it's interesting enough. So out of 5 stars with half stars in play, I'm going to give this a solid 3-star rating. I think it's pretty decent. It's just, you know, the pacing issues and rehashing stuff was a little eh, and the ending a little eh. But big points, big points for trying to do something different. Because, like I said, the premise makes you roll your eyes at first, but it's a different ride than you're used to. So thank you for that, filmmakers. Anyway, I would love to hear other people's thoughts on this film, and we can talk spoilers in the comments, so go ahead, especially differing opinions. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you in between? Just let me know. But don't just say loved it, hated it in between. Just give me like a sentence or two. Just want to know what you did and or did not like about the film. So that would be great. Also, do me a favor and hit subscribe if you haven't already. That's your best way to repay me if you like this video or any video I've ever done. It is quick, painless, costs you no money, and it legitimately keeps me motivated to keep doing these things, because when I'm doing this video right now, I don't make money doing this or anything. This is kind of like a labor of love and doing it for the fans type thing. So also hit the notification bell button, because then you'll know when I'm putting up new content, which is about 4 videos. Well, it's not about. It has been 4 videos a week, which I think is pretty good. Regardless, though, thank you very much for checking out this video, and until next time, keep it brutal.